some big news coming in on the Parliament inauguration, a plea that was filed before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court now refuses to entertain that plea, saying, we know why you filed such petitions. We are not inclined to entertain this. Supreme Court almost slamming that plea that's been filed by an advocate in the Supreme Court, asking to review or relook, or rather send out an instruction to the Government of India to allow President Murmu to inaugurate this Parliament building, as it is the temple of democracy, and as per tradition and protocols, it's ideally the head of state, which is Murmu, who should be inaugurating the Parliament building and not Prime Minister Modi. This plea was filed in the Supreme Court, with the Supreme Court now looking into it, saying, we know why you filed such petitions. We are not inclined to entertain this. We know why you filed these petitions. We are not inclined to entertain this. A big statement coming out by the Supreme Court. As it appears, the Supreme Court now not wanting to look into this petition, possibly does not hold good before the court of law. And it appears everything's on schedule. 28th of May, the Prime Minister will be inaugurating the new Parliament building. And this was one hurdle that could have blocked this inauguration. But it appears that Supreme Court too not wanting to entertain this, almost casting aspersions on the intentions of the petitioner. Let me cut across to Nalini, who's tracking court for us. Nalini, a quick word from you. We see that the court, the Supreme Court, the top court, has refused to entertain this petition and also said, if I could quote here, we know why you filed such petitions. This is raising questions on the petitioner's intentions itself. The Supreme Court says we are not inclined to entertain this petition here. What does this signify?
Well, yes, Nabila, the Supreme Court clearly said that they know as to why these PILs come before the court, and there is no reason for the court to interfere in this matter. They've also asked the advocate on what basis he's filed the petition, and what was claimed by the advocate was that as per the Constitution and provisions of the Constitution, it is the President who shall address the first session each year of the Parliament, the joint session of the Parliament. It is the President who should address them. But at the same time, the court has said that inauguration of the new building has got nothing to do with the first address of the Parliament, and there is no reason as to why the court should interfere in this matter. So essentially, the court has now gone ahead and paved the way for the new building of the Parliament to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister, as has been decided by the government. They found no reason to go ahead and interfere with this case. It was a public interest litigation that was filed by one of the advocates before the Supreme Court, asking specifically for directions to be issued to the Lok Sabha secretariat, saying that the President should be the one who should come and inaugurate the Parliament building. But there is no such order coming in from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court categorically said that there is no reason for court interference in this matter, and it's left up to the government to decide exactly what is the best possible way in which this should be done.
Tell us more about the petition itself, the plea before the Supreme Court, Nalini. What does it really claim? We know a few points that we've been flashing on our screens, where the petition raises questions on the intentions behind the Government of India of trying to sidestep President Murmu and push for Prime Minister Modi to be inaugurating that temple of democracy, calling this unconstitutional and whatnot. There were a list of reasons to why the petitioner gave that this should be stopped with immediate effect. Do break it down for us.
Well, Nabila, the main contention that was raised in this public interest litigation that was filed by one of the advocates from Tamil Nadu was that the Constitution is not being respected if it is not the President who is being asked to come ahead and inaugurate the Parliament building. And all of the arguments, short arguments that have been put forth before the Supreme Court vacation bench have also been on this aspect, that Article 78 and 79 of the Constitution specifically mention how it is the President that should address the first joint session of the Parliament. And keeping that in mind, this PIL was filed before the Supreme Court because they said that the Lok Sabha secretariat needs to be issued directions by the Supreme Court to call the President to come forth and inaugurate the new Parliament building, because the President will be the head of the executive in this case. But at the same time, the Supreme Court has said, first of all, they doubted the intentions of the petitioner to come to the court. They also went ahead and made a statement saying that we know why such petitions are filed before the court, hinting at the fact that these are not public interest litigations, rather publicity interest litigations that have been filed before the Supreme Court. And several times earlier also, the Supreme Court has said that they will not allow the court to become a platform for publicity through such petitions. So it is an expected lines that the petition has been dismissed. But what we are also getting to know is that the lawyer has requested the court for him to be given permission to withdraw the petition, so that there is no official order regarding the dismissal of the petition on record. So the court has agreed to allow him to withdraw the petition, but at the same time they've asked him if he has any intention to go to the High Court, because in case he withdraws the petition from the Supreme Court, he has the liberty to then approach the High Court in a similar petition. But to that, the advocate has said that no, he will not be moving the High Court with a similar petition, and after that assurance, he has been allowed to withdraw his petition from the top court. The order has been dictated by the Supreme Court now. The petition has been dismissed as withdrawn, which means that the court will not be interfering in this aspect at all as to who should be the one who should inaugurate the parliament, and the decision, rightly so, has been left completely up to the government to decide.